It's Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We have a lot to talk about today. I'm going to get right into it. Woke up this morning, Dow Jones was down well over 700 points this morning. GDP growth slowed to 1.6% in the first quarter, well below the expectation of 2.4%. So this shocked markets today. The Dow did recover a bit, closed down 375. NASDAQ was only down 100. And here's what we really need to be paying attention to, and that is the bond market. 10-year broke 4.7% today, and that's a big deal because when you need to borrow money, the cost to borrow money is typically attached to that 10-year bond yield. So mortgage rates, credit card interest rate, you need a car loan, it's all attached to the 10-year. And this 10-year bond yield is, if it hits 5%, it's going to be huge trouble for the U.S. economy. Right now at 4.7, it's big trouble. The personal consumption expenditures price index rose at a 3.4% annualized pace for the quarter, its biggest gain in a year. Now this measures the prices of food and services. Consumer spending increased 2.5% in the period, down from a 3.3% gain in the fourth quarter and below the 3% Wall Street estimate. This on CNBC today. CNBC, 10-year Treasury yield leaps to highest level in more than 5 months after GDP report. I looked at bankrate.com for a 30-year fixed mortgage. You're looking at 7.3%. And as I said earlier, if you need to borrow money for your business, borrow money for a car, interest rates on your credit cards, 23% average. You want to take a mortgage, refi your house. All this is going up because the bond yield is exploding. Wall Street Journal, mix of slowing growth, firm inflation worries investors. Slower economic growth and firm inflation means stagflation, ladies and gentlemen. And to me, what we're witnessing today, I think, can pretty much forget a rate cut anytime soon. The economy, it says here in the Wall Street Journal, saw a slowdown on spending on goods such as cars and gasoline. The influx, it says, of immigrants is boosting growth and tax revenues. But think about the price we're paying for this. You're losing your jobs. These people will do the job for less money, so wages will go down. It's great that tax revenue is going up and there's people to fill these positions, but these are positions that Americans won't take because they're not making any money. So they'd rather import basically slave labor and have these people do it. And you will pay a very severe price here one day for what they're doing. I mean, to have people come over from third world countries and work for third world wages, how do you think this is going to play out for the typical American? Think about where people are going to get jobs here in the next 5 years when you have people from all over the world coming here, taking these jobs. AI already replacing jobs, and AI is going to replace millions of jobs in the next 5 years. It's going to look like a whole different place in 5 years. Credit card companies report customers are spending more than they did last year. What a shock, isn't it? They are forced to spend more because they have to pay more and they're getting less. They're paying more for a gallon of gas. They're paying more for food at the grocery store. They're paying more for literally everything. And the only way they can do it is with credit cards. Wall Street Journal, the dream of Fed rate cuts is slipping away. I said last year, I don't see how they're going to do it in 2024. I just don't see how they're going to do it. And I stand by that because I really don't see how they're going to cut rates at this point. Here's another one today from the Wall Street Journal. It's titled, "The Dream of Fed Rate Cuts is Slipping Away." It says that the Federal Reserve and investors got a series of rude awakenings today, and anyone anticipating lower interest rates. It says for the third straight month, inflation has proven stickier than expected. The Commerce Department reported that gross domestic product expanded at a 1.6% seasonally and inflation-adjusted annual rate, but a broader measure of underlying demand ran closer to 3%, suggesting solid momentum. And the Fed will go by the data. Meanwhile, inflation was stronger during the first quarter. Core prices, which excluded food and energy items, rose at a 3.7% annualized rate during the quarter and were up 2.9% from a year ago. Do you still think we're heading to 2% inflation anytime soon? I mean, remember transitory, and then it's, hey, our goal is 2%. We're gonna get to 2%. Comment down below. We ain't getting to 2% this year, that is for sure. When you look at this $95 billion bill, this money that they're sending overseas, paying off billions of dollars of student loan debt, raising taxes, all of this, do you really think inflation is going to go to 2%? I hope every one of you watching this video today is preparing for more inflation. The hedge today, initial and continuing jobless claims continue to ignore reality. Jobless claims dropped last week to 207,000. They expected 215,000, but isn't that great? They actually took it off. What was it? 5 out of 6 weeks, it was 212,000. That was the number. 5 out of 6 weeks, 212,000. So at least we have a new number this week. The bad news is March saw 90,000 job cuts, the most since January of 2023. You have to ask yourself, how legitimate, how accurate are these job numbers? I think they're extremely manipulated. We're losing so many jobs. I was looking at 51 companies today, and the amount of massive layoffs, something just doesn't add up here. But of course, people who lose a job have to go out and pick up 2 or 3 to make up for the job that they lost. So all this very, very manipulated. Real estate experts share a message for home buyers as they predict rising home prices through 2025. This is that mother and daughter team that's always on Fox Business. They really, I think, are trying to pump it up here. They said that we're expecting new home sales to rise again. But if you look at new home sales, they're down over 18% from their peak, and that's not including incentives and mortgage buydowns. It says, they go on to say, we don't think you should wait because Freddie Mac is even predicting a 0.5% increase in home prices. So you should go out and buy a house, they say. We recommend buy because we don't see home prices going down anytime soon. These two don't see home prices going down anytime soon. Okay. Experts, it says, are urging those who are looking to buy a home to jump in if you can. Well, don't you have to have a job? Don't you now, to buy the average home, need to be making $120,000 a year? When I listen to these two on Fox Business today, they remind me of 2 car salesmen. And if you remember a couple years ago, you better get this car because we're not going to have any more of these. They're not building any more of these. The market's so hot, we can't keep them in stock. And if you don't buy today, you'll never get one. I drove by some car lots today. We drove by some car lots last week. We were at the Manheim Auto Auction, 10,000 cars there. The auto lots in Riverside County, San Bernardino, the surrounding lots around my house here, they're packed. They're packed with cars. These same people 2 years ago who told you better buy a car now that's, that they're selling for 25% over MSRP, you better buy it now because you'll never get another chance. They don't know what to do with the cars on the lots now. They have so many cars. So, just like these people on the car lots telling you 2 years ago, you better buy that Dodge Charger for, $25,000 over MSRP. You can go get a Dodge Charger today and it's not $25,000 over MSRP. This FOMO, they're continuing to try to ramp up the FOMO in the housing market to get people to go out and buy. This should be the hottest time of the year now. This should be the hottest time of the housing market right now. This is when people go out and buy houses. And they're not. They're just not doing it. You have to have good credit. You have to have a job. You have to have enough income. People just cannot qualify. U.S. pending home sales rise in March, but it's the title on this one on the Hedge today. U.S. pending home sales rose 3.4% month over month. But remember, this is pending. They did not close. These are pending. They are not closed sales. But here's the bad news. Down 4.5% year over year. Sales are down, way down. Many large U.S. cities are in deep financial trouble. Here's why. This was an interesting one today on CNBC. New York, one of the cities in big trouble, and many of them are, most of them are, $177.6 billion in total debt. And this is at the end of the fiscal year of 2022. $61.2 thousand, that's what the average taxpayer owes in New York. Underfunded pension obligations and retiree health benefits are starving municipal governments nationwide. How in the world, this I cannot understand. Maybe you can explain this to me, comment down below, but these pensions that these cities give to the police, the fire department, the garbage men, the teachers, how in the world, mathematically, is this sustainable? You know, if you're going to pay cops and firemen $100,000 a year for the next, 20, 30, 40 years, or a school teacher $75,000 a year for a pension, who can live another 30 or 40 years, how is this sustainable? And who's going to pay for this, and how do you pay for it? And I was thinking, how are these cities going to continue to afford these pensions and these obligations, especially when you look at all the businesses shutting down? They're done. That's zero tax base. Those businesses bring in so much tax revenue, so important for those cities' tax base. They're gone. They're shuttered down. Why? Because of massive amounts of crime and the economy. Cities did nothing to protect these businesses that pay these massive tax bases to afford these pensions for the teachers, the police, the fire, the garbage men, etc. Now they're gone. Or you have businesses deciding to move because they don't like the way they're being treated, they're not being protected. Or you just have the average taxpayer who says, I don't like it here anymore, I'm paying too much in taxes, I don't like the crime, I'm moving. And they're taking their tax revenue with them. How in the world are these cities going to exist? I don't get it. If you do, comment down below, because they're so deep in the red now. I think we're going to see a time where many of these pensions really take a massive haircut or just collapse, because these cities are not going to be able to afford to sustain these amounts of money. It's just not going to happen. Now, shifting gears here a little bit. I was watching this video today. San Jose mayor's security detail fights off pedestrian in the middle of TV interview as entire 4-minute long brawl is caught on camera. Check this out. Google it. I think this was on the New York Post, but you can Google it. The interesting thing here is I'm watching this 4-minute video, and they're interviewing the mayor, and then this person just walks up out of nowhere and starts talking to the mayor. The mayor is very respectful. Hey, we're doing an interview, don't mind. And then one of his people says, hey, we're doing an interview. If you could just, give us a minute. The guy gets irate. He starts getting angry, threatening, and then somebody from the security detail from the mayor's office here steps in, and they're getting into a boxing match now. And I would say whoever this security guard is, agent, whoever it is, probably needs to work a little bit more on their boxing. They should check out Coach Lionel and get into some boxing lessons, because his hand skills were not great. I don't mean to criticize here, but for somebody who's working security detail for a mayor of a city like San Jose, then it turned into a bit of a wrestling match. And the sad thing is, everybody in the mayor's office here is standing around filming it with their camera, not helping, not intervening, nothing. They're just standing around filming this and calling probably the police, maybe their friends, I don't know. But they're standing around filming, watching this whole thing, and this security guard, agent, whatever he is now wrestling around, trying to grab this guy and take him to the ground with terrible skill. But anyways, luckily, some Good Samaritans, civilians, whatever you want to call them, step in, I think about 4 of them, and help to subdue this guy, and then they try to get some cuffs on him, and that's the end of the video. But I just thought it was interesting because I just look at all these people standing around filming this when this guy clearly is struggling to subdue this attacker now, who probably outweighed him by 15, 20 pounds. And people just stand around. You have got to be careful out there. And this is why, I preach daily that you're working on your skills, that you're working on your defensive skills, that you're prepared to deal with confrontation, because this person could not walk away from it. And so he did not seem that prepared, unfortunately. Here's another one. Pulse-pounding video captures deranged passenger attacking driver on bus before it crashed into building. Oklahoma City. I believe this was last Saturday. They show a rider, while the bus driver is driving, getting into a confrontation with the bus driver, and then striking him and attacking him. Bus driver is now defending himself. He is seat belted into the seat, but now he's actually standing up trying to defend himself while the bus is driving down the road. And you can see the bus driving down the road, cars driving by it, and this guy and the bus driver are duking it out. It's shocking. And then they crash into a business, and this is just horrific watching this stuff. There's people on the bus, there's people on the road, there's people in that business, there's a bus driver, and this lunatic maniac attacking a bus driver while he's driving a bus. I mean, we are living in a very, very bizarre world, and we're living with some very, very disturbed people. This last one really irritated me. It's titled, "Just Representing My Country, Major League Baseball umps force Cubs pitcher to ditch glove with American flag patch." So this, I mean, you got to comment down below. I want to know your thoughts on this. This is why I do not support most sports. I do support UFC. I like UFC. But this is why your mainstream sports, football, baseball, basketball, even NASCAR, I don't support any of this garbage. And you shouldn't either. I don't really like to tell people what to do. But if you really want to walk the walk, if you really love this country, if you really believe in this country, why would you support this garbage? You got to draw the line somewhere, right? You got to draw the line somewhere. To me personally, anybody watching baseball now, you don't really believe in this country. You are a hypocrite. You are putting up with this garbage, and you should not. You should not be spending your time or your money with this garbage. Cubs pitcher Luke Little had to ditch his glove because he had a little tiny American flag on the index finger of his glove. He says the Cubbies told him that they got an email from Major League Baseball that I'm not allowed to wear it. And isn't this like the American pastime or the American game or whatever they call it? If you support Major League Baseball, in my opinion now, you're supporting the problem. And, when you watch over the years what these organizations did, slapping you in the face because of certain things you believe in, or if you're military, police, or you believe in defending yourself, they ridiculed you. They don't like you. They hate you. This is absolutely disgusting. And look, I really don't care what people do, but honestly, you got to draw the line somewhere. If you're supporting Major League Baseball, you're supporting the evil. If you really walk the walk, if you really believe in what you're doing, if you really support the country, freedom, change, if you really don't like the direction we're going, why would you support baseball? They don't even want a baseball player to wear a little 1-inch flag on his baseball glove. That's how threatening the American flag is. This is what they can tell somebody now, that he's not wearing a Russian flag or a Chinese flag. He's wearing the American flag on his, or a little patch on his index finger on his glove. Is that really so bad? Why are we supporting Major League Baseball? Why would you watch Major League Baseball? Why would you pay for a ticket? Why would you even give them 1 cent or 1 second of your time? This is absolutely sickening. Everybody should be never should be shutting off the TV, not buying these baseball packages, not buying tickets, giving them absolutely no support whatsoever. If this American pastime, this American sport, without that flag, without this country, would never exist. And yet people will sit here and go, oh yeah, I'm walking the walk. I'm preparing. I love America. I love my freedom. And, you know, we got to stand up for our rights and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Then they'll go to a baseball game and give them, you know, $50, $100, $500 for a ticket, go buy the beer, the hot dogs, the parking, give them their time and their support. And then they tell you, you shouldn't wear a flag. And then soon you'll go to the game. And if you have an American flag on your shirt, they're going to tell you you can't come in. You got to draw the line, ladies and gentlemen. This is garbage. This is something we should not accept. This is something we shouldn't put up with. And this is something we can vote out with our wallet right now in our time. This is absolutely absurd, disgusting, repulsive that baseball is telling a player that they can't have an American flag on their baseball glove. And you're going to support this game. You're going to support these organizations. I would say get a new hobby. Maybe take the time and money, spend it with your family, spend it on getting some training, investing in yourself, bulking up food, adding to your preparations, anything but going to a baseball game. F the Major League Baseball organization, FMLB, F them. This is unacceptable. And nobody watching this video today should accept this. You should be done with this garbage. You shouldn't watch it on TV. You shouldn't be there in person. You shouldn't buy a ticket. Nothing. This is absolutely disgusting. Have a good day. God bless. Stay safe.